wake up, wake up. It's the Flow Show, no filter. What's up? Back for another TGIF. Thank God it's Friday, or what we call on the show, thank God it's Flow. How is everybody doing today? Who we got in the chat? Oh, we got Angie, Felicia. Before I get into these names, let me cover my ass. No Diddy. The thoughts, views, and opinions shared on the Flow Show No Filter are for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a professional. I am just good. Good morning, Lily, RX, Melissa. I see we got a new Andre in the building. Who else we got? Grandma Kathy, what's going on? What's going on? Tracy, what it was good. Elise, Laura Clifford. What is going on with everybody? Good to see everybody in the building. What a crazy, crazy, crazy day yesterday. More Diddy news. Tahara, what's up? Sherry, everybody in here loving to see the Flow Show fam, the Wake and Bake crew, the Breakfast crew, the Green team. Oh, look at Shauna. Shauna in the building. Hey, Shauna. Where's Shauna at? Shauna said love. Much love to Shauna. What else? Rachel, what's up? Sydney, what's up? Brian, what's up? Laura says, morning, Shauna, with a green heart. I feel the love this Friday morning. Feeling good. Friday is like one of my favorite days of the week. Like Tracy said, we miss each other on the weekends, but we come right back. What is everybody up to? Where are my coffee drinkers? What coffee we drinking today? Before we get into this Diddy madness with the court hearing and are the charges gonna be dropped? What do I think? What do y'all think? I need to know what's in y'all coffee mugs today. Is it a caramel latte? Do we got caramel lattes in this building? Okay, Melissa say pumpkin spice and everything nice. What else we got? We got pumpkin spice. What else we got? Okay. Well, just hey, look, let's see what's in your cup then. What's in your cup? What's the cocktail? Starbucks this morning. Venti ice caramel macchiato, heavily customized. Okay. Caramel macchiato. That macchiato, whatever, that must go. Caramel and smoke, coffee, 2 creams, 2 sugar, straight black. Colombian sweet cream. Y'all some coffee experts. I gotta try Colombian sweet cream. That sounds good. Morning flow mocha. Okay, we got a mocha in the building. Grandma Kathy say cinnamon caramel iced coffee. Well, go ahead, Grandma Kathy, with your bad self. Grandma Kathy came through with the cinnamon caramel iced coffee. You need to get with the coffee flow. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna find me some coffee I like so I can sip some coffee with y'all. I'm gonna find me some coffee I like so I can sip some coffee with y'all. Have a drink, have a drink, have a drink. Yeah, y'all, we got a lot to talk about. Hope you got those coffee mugs are full or whatever your cocktail is. You know, some people overseas watching us. Shout out to all my overseas people. Some people, it's that night. It's the nighttime for some people that watch this show. So they sipping a little something, something in their cup. Oh man, court is y'all. They said I couldn't post a 10% bond. So I had to get a lawyer. So my lawyer is filing a motion, and I'll update y'all after my lawyer filed a motion. It's stupid ass housing court shit from 6 years ago, like some housing fines. It's really stupid. But it could be a headache. So I got a lawyer on top of it, y'all. And after they respond to this motion, for me to get a new court date, I'll let y'all know what they say. But yeah, that court shit is a mess. I went up there yesterday to get a new court date and pay my little warrant bond because I missed my court date. And they was like, you gotta pay $7,500. I'm like, oh no, 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 no. So I left and got a lawyer. So I'll keep y'all updated. If we got a flood, hey, look, if we might have to flood and call Cleveland Heights clerk of courts. We might have to all make calls and tell them to get off my fucking back. So I'll let y'all know next week, probably Monday or Tuesday, if we're gonna have to call the Cleveland Heights courts and tell them to get the fuck off my back. Yeah, all they want is money. Yeah, so I might have to tell y'all, I might have to post the phone number and say, y'all better call these niggas. They trying to lock me up for some for not for violation like work, like chip painting and stupid shit like that. Nothing major at all. It's crazy. So Laura said she ready. Yeah, I'm gonna let y'all know next week if we got to call and email and get on their ass. Sarah said, we got you. We ride that down. Right, Shay? That's why I be trying to tell people. They don't know. I'll call in the community. I call the community. Their emails and phones gonna be flooded and being called all day long. They better leave me alone. It's ridiculous. I've gave them about $3,000 for a nothing ass ticket, like a nothing fine. They take your license. They do all type of crazy shit at Cleveland Heights. It's really not fair. It's really predatory. It's really a predatory system they got. But it's all good. We ride at dawn. Shauna, you better tell them. Shauna found me a lawyer. Let me give y'all that part of the story. So yeah, they don't want the smoke. That's why I be trying to tell them they better relax. Yeah, they get sick real quick. That's why I always try to go about it the laid back way. So I didn't say nothing, but if this motion come back and they don't just give me a new court date, then we riding, y'all. We ride. If they don't give me a new court date and they still talking shit, we ride. So I'm gonna let y'all know next week. They trying to lock my ass up like Diddy. Tracy said they got my back. I got y'all in the pocket. So I tell y'all the real. I tell y'all everything. So when they told me they wouldn't give me a court date, the lady said she suggests I turn myself in at 6 a.m. today. She suggests, this the lady at the clerk of court said, she suggests, since they didn't give me, they didn't have it where I could pay 10% of my bond. She said I should turn myself in at 6 a.m. and then the judge gonna let me go or some shit. I was like, no. I'm just getting a lawyer. First of all, I'm not turning myself in at 6 a.m. because I'm gonna miss the flow show no filter. That's not happening. Not for no stupid ass housing court shit. You got me fucked up. So yeah, y'all, I was like, no, I'm just gonna get a lawyer. I'm not turning myself into no fucking jail for this dumb shit. Nope. So yep, Lord, no, I ain't stupid. I'm lawyering up. But yeah, that's what she told me. That's exactly what she told me. You know, I tell y'all everything. I don't have to hide shit. She told me to turn myself in at 6 a.m. this morning. I'm like, man, that means we ain't gonna have no show. I'm not doing that shit. Yeah, they think I'm stupid. If I would have turned myself in at 6 a.m., they would have just had me in that bitch waiting on the judge, and then they might have took forever. Next thing I know, I'm in there the whole weekend. Then I can't get out till Monday sometime, and we wouldn't even have no show on Friday or Monday. I'm not letting that happen. Yeah, look, Felicia said, plus it's the weekend. Yeah, don't even try it. Don't even try it. Don't even try it. Legalese is double talk from hell. So now that I done told y'all about my court shit, now that I done told y'all about my court shit, let me tell y'all about, let's talk about Diddy's court shit. Let's talk about Diddy's court shit. So what's going on? Diddy talking about every day, this was a quote from Diddy. Every day he stays in prison or jail, he is one day closer to being a free man. That was his major quote. That was his major quote from the court case yesterday. So let's get into it. Diddy returns to court a week before he faces sentencing. Diddy gives heartfelt speech. Judge plans a speedy ruling whether charges can be dropped against Sean Diddy Combs. Let's go into that one first. Judge plans speedy ruling on whether charges can be dropped against Sean Diddy Combs. We all know yesterday they had a ruling, or not a ruling, I'm sorry, a hearing on whether or not they are going to drop the charges. I'm sorry, overturn the conviction, acquit him of the Mann Act, or give him a new trial, or say shut the fuck up, kick rocks with flip flops. So they had a hearing yesterday. A federal judge said after this hearing, he'll rule very shortly on a final bid by defense lawyers to get him to toss out 2 prostitution-related convictions that Sean Diddy Combs is scheduled to be sentenced for next week. Judge Aaron Subramanian listened to nearly 90 minutes of arguments by lawyers over whether the charges were properly brought against the Grammy-winning hip-hop producer. Combs, 55, is scheduled to be sentenced on October 3rd in Manhattan for his conviction on 2 counts alleging that he arranged interstate travel for people engaged in prostitution. Defense attorney Alexandra Shapiro urged the judge to toss out 2 violations of the Mann Act that resulted in conviction, saying the infamous law had racist and sexist origins that are well documented and beyond dispute. The jury acquitted him of sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy charges that carried the potential penalty of life in prison. The whole history of the statute is really, I would submit, an embarrassment to the United States of America, is what Alexandra Shapiro said. She said the whole law is an embarrassment. But Diddy isn't an embarrassment. So the law is an embarrassment, but not Diddy. This is what they talking about. Melissa said this case is an embarrassment. She said this is an embarrassment. The whole statute is an embarrassment. They talking shit, y'all. Prior to the trial, the judge declined to throw out charges, and he sounded skeptical at times as Shapiro pressed her arguments that Combs was improperly convicted. Last Thursday, Subramanian seemed focused on the sentencing going forward when he explained in an order why he forced Combs to wear his prison uniform to the latest hearing. He said defense lawyers have failed to explain why Combs would need civilian clothing in court when there is no jury present, nor what legal precedent exists to allow it. The court will entertain an application relating to the sentence proceeding, but it needs to provide some explanation along these lines, he wrote. During the oral arguments Thursday, Assistant U.S. Attorney Christy Slavic said the prosecution against Combs illustrated the necessity of fighting prostitution because of the violence, drugs, and sexual diseases that often accompany it. Violence. This has been a word they've been constantly talking about. Hey, sweet tooth. Violence. Drugs. Coercion. This is what will all play into his sentencing. As you see, the prosecution making sure that they talk about this shit. And we got $1.99, $2 holla, Angelina. Thank you. Let me go see what's up. Cause we forgot, y'all. Y'all forgot today payday now. Now I done ran from the law to come give y'all this show. I know I better get paid on payday. They told me turn my ass in this morning at 6 a.m. I like, nope. It's the Flow Show, beach. Ain't no house in court. Y'all better chill out. I got a lawyer on it. Talk to my lawyer. Thank you for the $2 holla, Angelina. Let's get with the giving. Yeah, y'all, it's payday today, y'all. Don't be shy. I put my work in. Thank you for the $4.99, $5 holla. Fridays is payday on the Flow Show, no filter. Look at my member, Laura Clifford. I'm sorry. That's my girl, Laura. We be having our we be in the DMs. Fire Glory said, what stupidity are they on? It's okay, Angelina. I appreciate my $1.99. Angelina, you don't have to apologize. You didn't have to say nothing. You know I appreciate my $1.99, my $2 hollers. It all, like I told you, what my granny used to say, it all spins. So let's get back to this case. Appreciate you, Angelina, always. Prosecutor said Combs. Prosecutor said Combs paid for and arranged hundreds of drug-fueled sexual marathon performances between male sex workers and his girlfriends, two of whom testified about being beaten and kicked by Combs. Shapiro argued that Combs cannot be held responsible for financing and helping to arrange the transportation domestically and internationally for elaborate sex performances that he frequently filmed over a 15-year period. Slavic said the jury verdict should stand because the charges were properly brought and it was in the public interest to prevent prostitution, particularly when it involves the kind of violence and drugs that occurred when Combs was involved. As he entered the courtroom, smiling, a smiling Combs waved to his supporters and touched his heart before taking his seat among several lawyers. He did not speak during hearing except to greet the judge. At the end of the hearing, Combs blew kisses to his family, which included his mother, 3 daughters, and 3 sons. Thank you all for coming. I love you all so much, he said. Every hour, every day is me getting closer to going home. That is said by Mohawk Diddy. Thank you for the $5 holla, Elise. Means the world to me. Means I can eat good this weekend. Laura, $4.99. Another version of the $5 holla. But Diddy said he has some big plans for him and his family. In a pre-sentence submission this week, defense lawyers said Combs' family has suffered since his arrest, including financially from loss of business and possibilities. Suburmania has denied bail for the Bad Boy Records founder after he was convicted of the prostitution-related charges in July. Combs will have been jailed for nearly 13 months when he is sentenced October 3rd. His lawyers argued in court papers submitted this week that he should be sentenced to no more than 14 months in prison. This is what the defense wants. 14 months in prison. And on top of that, they want credit for good behavior, which means he would be released immediately. What do y'all think about that? Prosecutors have said they believe he should spend at least several more years behind bars, although they won't submit their sentencing recommendations to the judge until next week. The judge has signaled that he too is leaning towards a substantial amount of prison time, twice refusing to grant bail since the jury returned its verdict, citing Combs' history of violence. That violence is what's going to ultimately play a significant role in the judge's sentencing and the judge's ruling. Elise said we need to remember that his ass shot a woman in the face. She saw it happen and he got off. And what Elise is talking about right here is, I'm sure she's talking about the what is that? The shooting back that Shine and J-Lo and Diddy were involved in, and Diddy ended up getting off, and Shine ended up doing 10 years. Karma, 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 karma. I'm gonna tell y'all. There are some people that believe that this might get overturned. And they think it could possibly get overturned because the feds want to go back after Diddy. I don't know how true that is, but we'll see very shortly because the judge is going to rule on it. You got some people feeling like, yeah, I know, Miss Sweet Tooth. I'm just giving y'all what's been floating around. They think that the judge may give Diddy a new trial, and they think that if he does that, it would be because the feds have more victims and more charges to bring with the new trial. I don't know. I don't know. This is just what's been going on and what's been said. But it's just this one of those cases that you don't know what from one move to the next. From one move to the next. We don't know what's going on. Let's see what they saying on this situation right here. So September 20. Oh shit. Wrong date. They say Diddy gives heartfelt speech from TM Sleazy, one of our favorite publications. Title of this article: Diddy speaks from the heart after hearing adjourns. I love y'all so much. Diddy's freedom is still up in the air, but he left his family with an encouraging message after his acquittal hearing today, showering them with love and praise. After the rapper's hearing to get his two-man act convictions thrown out ended, we're told he turned to the pews behind him, full of his family, including his mother, 6 of his children, and more, and told them he loves them. They all make him super proud. He specifically turned to his mom, Janice, blew her a kiss, and told her she's beautiful before thanking everyone once again for showing support. We've heard from people in the courtroom who say Diddy added every day, every hour, getting closer to home. We talked about that. But he did that before giving one last wave as he walked out of the court. Everyone in his corner waved back before the door shut behind you. We told you all about the hearing. And in that hearing, Diddy's team argued prostitution only applies to someone who pays someone else for sex, not someone who just sits back and watches like they say Diddy did during the infamous freak-offs. Prosecutors fired back by arguing Diddy also reimbursed his exes like Jane, who set up the sexual encounters, essentially aiding in the act. The judge adjourned the hearing without delivering a decision on the matter, but said he decides soon. As we all know, Diddy's sentencing is set for October 3rd, and if it moves forward, we're sure a whole lot of his family will be there to show their love and support for the star. Much ado about nothing. Y'all ever heard that saying? I'm ready for this judge. Okay, hold on. I see something. Okay. Shout out to Perfect 10 for the $9.99. That's a $10 holla. Perfect 10 Barber Lounge, located in South Euclid. If you're in the Cleveland area and you need a haircut or beard care, haircut, all kind of whatever you need to be, whatever hair problem you have, you can get it solved at the Perfect 10 Barber Lounge in South Euclid. This is in Cleveland, so if you out of state, you can only come when you come to Cleveland. Book on the Cut app. If y'all know what the Cut app is, that's it. Thank you so much, Shauna. I'm gonna eat good today. Y'all taking care of me on payday. Shout out to Shauna and Perfect 10 for the super chat, super sticker. We getting we getting fancy. So yeah. People, let me read y'all what a source say may happen so y'all can be prepared. This is not saying this is absolutely going to happen, but let me just give you some other expert opinions. This person says, this is one of my good sources who looks at what's going on. I will get to this in a second. Don't flip if the judge agrees to give Diddy a new trial on the 2 Mann Act charges. The feds are cooking something very serious. They need to make a maneuver that will allow them to go back to the original trial and the original indictments. It will allow the feds to go back in time and correct problematic issues that prevented them from getting convictions on the other 2 indictments or the other 2 charges. The government did not call any co-defendants the first time around. If they grant a new trial, Diddy will still not leave jail in the process. So what this particular source is saying, even if they did grant a new trial, the prosecution has already submitted documentation and Diddy would still stay locked up. Now, according to this source, the feds have 8 potential co-defendants with whom they would try in court with Diddy. Now that could be, if this is what they're working on, of course, that could be Christina Coram, that could be D-Rock, Uncle Paulie, whoever helped this. And thank you for the $20 holla, Angie. Angie, I like the shortcut, Angie. I like how y'all all coming through with y'all profile pics too. Y'all know we agreed that everybody gonna put their profile pics up, and y'all have answered the bell. But thanks again, Angie. Angie says, happy eating. I'm about to dog some Friday food. 100% for sure. Now, let's get back to this. They will be possibly calling 8 co-defendants on this new trial. They would be newly called to answer the Mann Act indictments. They would be able to go after Diddy on similar charges they were never adjudicated with, coda sentence in the first trial. Evidence they have right now, it's about an 85% chance that the courts will want to hear about their involvement with Diddy in other activities. If these parties bring either new or corroborating against Diddy, that involves new victims. Feds just filed 8 new victims. According to this source, the feds have filed 8 new victims and will be bringing even more charges via the Mann Act. So if they do, this source is kind of saying that what they would do if the judge did grant him a new trial is they would beef up the Mann Act, dive in and kind of double, triple, and quadruple down on the Mann Act charges and bring more defendants, bring more witnesses, bring more victims, and take what he's already been convicted for and expand on it. This is just a possibility. You know, I got to tell y'all everything that's floating around so there's no surprises. Now, that's not to say that the judge is going to grant him a new trial. That is just to say if that happens, that would be what's kind of behind. Thoughts? This is the longest few months. Is since when was that? Oh yeah, that was July. So July to August. So August, September. From July to August, from August to September, and September to October. This is the longest 90 days ever. What is happening? Andre says Sean Combs is not an ordinary billionaire. Definitely not. Definitely not. Grandma Kathy Grandma Kathy says she got a new profile pic. It's her grandkids. They are her pride and joy. Shout out to Grandma Kathy's grandkids. Melissa says Diddy has been scrambling and scraping for the last 90 days. Yeah, this is something else, y'all. This is something else. Diddy is really, really trying. Diddy's team is trying to Hail Mary. But I believe it would be bad either way. It would be bad either way. If he was granted a new trial, that doesn't mean that wouldn't even be a good thing to me for Diddy. If he got a new trial, the feds ain't gonna do nothing but open up more charges and dig deeper, and Diddy will still be behind bars. Nebby said, I wish the jurors would speak out. Do y'all realize after that last time, when that juror came out talking about that they was discussing the trial and all that extra stuff, do y'all realize? And I told y'all wouldn't hear a peep. Y'all wouldn't hear a peep. Y'all wouldn't hear a peep out of no more jurors after that. Do y'all remember I told y'all that? You notice you haven't heard a peep out of the jurors since. You haven't heard a peep out of any juror ever since that last juror was on there talking about they was discussing the case and all that shit. I told you the judge and the feds or whoever had to get to them was going to say, y'all better shut the hell up. And you didn't hear from another juror after that. I told y'all that. I said, after that last thing that juror said, I said, y'all not going to hear no more from none of these. Y'all not going to hear from none of these people. Y'all not going to hear from none of these jurors. They going to shut them jurors down. Them jurors was telling too much and making the case look shitty. Jurors discussing the case. They talking about what they believed and who they talked to. That shit made the case look like a shit show. Elise said all the major news shows are saying he is on suicide watch. Diddler loves himself too much to do it. I haven't seen that. Let me look that up though. I didn't see that he was on suicide watch. Let's see that. I'm looking it up now, y'all. Let's see what we come up with. Oh, yep, Joe did. Found it, Elise. Thank you for bringing that to us. I didn't see that. Everybody shout out to Elise for the news. Sean Diddy Combs has served enough time behind bars where he's been under constant suicide watch, the defense tells the judge. Wow. Mr. Combs' celebrity status in the realms of music, fashion, spirits, media, and finance has been shattered, and Mr. Combs' legacy has been destroyed. The lawyers wrote saying their client has been punished enough. The submission provided new information about what life behind bars for nearly 13 months has been like for Combs, what's happened to his business, other interests, and explains why he turned down the plea. So they want y'all to feel sorry for him, y'all. Y'all feel sorry? Let me know if y'all feel sorry. Ain't nobody feeling sorry. Ain't nobody feeling sorry. I had to look in the thing. So, Mr. Combs' career and reputation have been destroyed, is what the lawyers wrote. Among other things, they noted that he had to let go over 100 employees from his business, and many of them have been unable to get new jobs because of their past association with Combs. Oh, cry me a river, build a bridge, and get over it. Cry me a river, build a bridge, and get over it. They say his His career and reputation have been destroyed. His 7 children, they say, have faced devastating consequences, including lost business opportunities in acting, television, fashion, and concerts, with some of them being included in some of the nearly 100 civil lawsuits filed against Combs since his arrest. Brian says, I love that his whole fake gangster persona has been exposed. His lawyers also noted that Combs and his family were set to star in a Hulu show about their lives. But the show was canceled once the allegations against him became public. Combs was removed from the boards at 3 charter schools he created in Harlem, the Bronx, and Connecticut, and was stripped of honorary doctorate degree from Howard University, which plans to return his prior donations, they said. They say an inmate approached Combs with a shiv, lawyers said. What the hell is a shiv? What is a shiv, y'all? Do I need to look it up, or could somebody in the chat tell me what the hell is a shiv? A shiv. What is a shiv? Apparently, an inmate approached Combs with a shiv, his lawyer said. Okay, I thought that's what it was. I just didn't want to assume it. But I thought that's what it was. So, on one occasion, another inmate approached Combs with a shiv, accusing Combs of sitting on a chair that the inmate wanted to sit on. Before Combs diffused the situation and calmed the man and his makeshift weapon down, the lawyer said. They said he has been under constant suicide watch, meaning every 2 hours he must present his identification card to guards to show he is alive and well and is awakened from sleep in a brightly lighted cell by a guard to ensure he is well. He also has limited access to clean water, leaving him to heat the water that he drinks to ensure it won't make him sick, and he must sleep within 2 feet of other inmates in a dorm. My bad. I hit the Wi-Fi. That's my fault. Shit. All right, we back. He also has limited access to clean water, leaving him to heat the water that he drinks to ensure it won't make him sick. And he must sleep within 2 feet of other inmates in a dorm-style room containing a bathroom and no door, the lawyer said. Aww. And of course, the food is filled with maggots. They also said that prosecutors offered Combs a plea deal that would have recommended a prison sentence of at least 25 years and required him to plead guilty to crimes of which he was acquitted. So we finally find out that Diddy's plea deal was 25 years. Wow. They portrayed their client as a changed man who had realized that his overuse of drugs, including some prescribed by doctors, had contributed to violent acts he participated in. Without minimizing Mr. Combs' conduct, this is in many ways a sex, drugs, and rock and roll story, they say. Mr. Combs had severe substance abuse problems throughout the entirety of the offense, participated in high-octane celebrity lifestyle. The Music Maven's trial featured lengthy testimony from two former girlfriends of Combs who said they felt forced to participate in drug-fueled sex marathons with male sex workers as Combs watched and sometimes filmed the days-long encounters. R&B singer Cassandra Cassidy Ventura testified that she participated in hundreds of the meetups that were referred to as freak-offs while she was his most frequent girlfriend from 2007 to 2018. Another ex-girlfriend testifying under the pseudonym Jane says she also felt pressure to perform for Diddy. Diddy's lawyers now say a sober Combs looks to new future, unlike his past. Nebby said, yuck. There are also extensive testimonies about this. While he was once so depressed in jail that there were days when he was unable to get out of his bed or even talk to the psychology department, his lawyer said he looks forward to the future. They said he has begun teaching other inmates essential skills in business management, entrepreneurship, and personal development. The lawyers wrote that the education program has become one of the most impactful and important endeavors of his life, and he hopes to expand it into state-run facilities once he is released. He is a humble man who understands that the most important things in life are his devotion and quality time with his family and his contributions for the benefit of others, they said. They trying it, y'all. They trying it. Tracy says he's sober now. Laughing emoji, laughing emoji, laughing emoji, laughing emoji, laughing emoji. That's why he looked so bad in court with draws kicking his ass. Let's see what happens. Somebody said that's what happened when you kick. Sahara said these lawyers sound stupid. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Somebody said, Andre, you having your own conversation? Somebody said, Tracy said, Andre, you having your own conversation? Tracy. This is a joke. That is a joke. Yeah, BS, 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 BS. So an inmate approached him with a big tough Diddy, let an inmate approach him with a shank. And he ain't do nothing about it. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Diddy, Diddy, Diddy. Diddy, Diddy, Diddy. Melissa, 100% the Warrens are just as for sure, but the jail will deny it. So I don't know, y'all. All I know is let's recap. Yesterday they had a hearing. Prosecution argued that everything was handled correctly. The Mann Act is the appropriate charge. And Diddy's particular Mann Act was fueled with drugs, coercion, violence, manipulation, so on and so forth. While at the same time, the defense argued. The defense argued that prostitution was not, this case wasn't about prostitution, that Diddy didn't engage in prostitution. Diddy was just making homemade corn videos. Diddy was just making homemade corn videos. Diddy was paying a third party to have sex with his girlfriend. That is not a crime, according to the defense. So for these reasons, the defense has argued and is arguing that this should be a new trial. Diddy deserves a new trial, or Diddy deserves an acquittal. And after all that back and forth, we got in the middle of this? Judge Aaron Subramanian. Judge Aaron Subramanian said that he would be ruling pretty quickly, which means I think he's going to have a ruling on this today. I don't think he's going to let this go into, he's not going to let this go into the weekend, in my opinion. He may say, Diddy, be careful what you wish for. This judge may say a new trial. But a new trial could turn out worse than the old trial. A new trial could turn out worse than the old trial. So be careful what you ask for. But this is a big decision for the judge. And not only am I anxious to hear the judge's decision, I'm anxious to see how the judge frames it. I'm anxious to see how the judge puts it together. Is the judge going to be pissed off? Is he going to side with the defense? Is he going to side with the prosecution? I don't know. But what I do know is we will all be tuned the fuck in to this decision. And if this decision means we move forward to sentencing on October 3rd, we'll be waiting for that. I don't know. I just know this has been one crazy ass moment after another. one crazy moment after another. So on that note, y'all, let's get the I'm out in the chat. We're going to end it right there. Look out for my Instagram, Flow Daddy Flow, and my Facebook, Harold White, Flow Daddy Flow, and TikTok, Flow Daddy Flow back up. Look out for the update. The minute the ruling comes in, I will be posting it. I will be posting the update. I'll be posting it on YouTube too. I'll make a little short video and update everybody on what the judge rules if it comes in today. Yeah, another fantastic show, y'all. Much love to all of y'all. I love y'all. Big shout out to Shauna, Miss Perfect 10 Barber Lounge. Big shout out to everybody who came and everybody who enjoyed this week for me on the Flow Show, No Filter, every Monday through Friday at 8:30 a.m. Make sure you follow back Melissa. Hey, Lily, make sure you follow back Melissa. Lord Clifford says I'm out. C-Tuck says I'm out. Tatum, where you been at, Tatum? I ain't know Tatum was in here. All right, Tatum. TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. Or on this show, we call this Thank God It's Flow. Have a good weekend. Enoch says everybody have a good weekend. Blessings to everybody. And as always, I love y'all. I mean, I love y'all, right? As always, I love y'all. But I am